Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Colton, and today we're obviously in a very different location than we normally are. That's because I am up in Minnesota visiting a couple buddies of mine, and we are in my friend Matt's house, which is a really beautiful 1910s kind of era home, and it's definitely a nice change of pace from my regular apartment. So I'm here in the living room, and I'm up here in Minnesota. I'm gonna do a sort of vlog style video of this trip here and hopefully stream together something that fits some sort of narrative or stream of consciousness about this trip. So we're gonna be hitting up a few photography locations, probably some that are fairly common for people that live here, and also some maybe lesser known spots. And I'm just gonna document this experience and this trip. Anyway, this is the intro to this video. I'm gonna record a vlog of this trip and of the photography that we're doing. Obviously, I have the A6400 that I'm filming this video on right now. I'll be doing some photography with it, but I also have the Olympus E500 with the Kodak sensor. I'm really excited to play around with this older camera. I also have the Fujifilm Finepix J40, which is a perfect camera for pulling right out of your pocket and photographing. So I really wanted to bring that as well. So yeah, those are the cameras that we're gonna play around with this week. And that's the intro to this video. So stick around if you guys want to see this trip. Last night, Matt and I went out and shot the marquee sign for the Grand View Theater. It was a really cool small theater. We actually saw a movie in the previous night and we're like, oh, we should come back and photograph this. And it was really cool too. When we went to photograph, the sign was like only half lit, and I guess the manager saw us taking pictures, so he flipped on the rest of the lights and it really lit up and was super beautiful. And he came over and like chatted with us for a little bit, told us a little bit of history about the theater. So that was really cool. Wish I had recorded him telling us so that I could play that, but I didn't. It was a very short interaction regardless, but I could have spent my whole night photographing that sign. It was a beautiful sign, and my ADHD, anything that has color in it, just like draws me in, and I'm stuck looking at it in awe. So very much like a roller coaster or a Ferris wheel or some kind of theme park ride with lots of lights, the marquee sign was really cool to look at. So I got some great photos. Tonight we may go and photograph another marquee of an equally old style theater, and I'll be excited for that if it doesn't rain. It was nice and sunny yesterday. Today it is overcast, and supposedly in the next couple hours it's gonna start to rain, which is unfortunate, but it has given me some time to do some pre-editing and work on some other personal projects that I just have not had the time to do, that I can now do in Matt's wonderful old living room. So that's pretty much it. Matt is at work. He left me his car. I think I'm gonna jump in it and go over to the camera shop potentially, and then get prepped and ready for some photography tonight. Hey everybody, we were photographing some various different theaters in town, and this theater supposedly has like a really cool inside, and it definitely does. The whole interior is really amazing, but you guys have to check out this bathroom and let me know if you know what movie it looks like it's from. So yeah, let me know if you know what movie this bathroom might remind you of if you're a fan of the horror genre. I've never seen a bathroom that looked quite like this, except for in a very specific movie. So let me know. All right, I'm here with my buddy Matt, who's got a really great photo of me in front of the urinals. Matt, what do you think this bathroom reminds you of? What movie?
Do you want me to give away the answer?
Yeah, you can give away the answer. Okay, if you weren't sure what movie it was from, that might give you a hint. I don't know if you can tell what the sign says, but it says, "Come play with us." So that's pretty good. But right in front of me is another thing that is definitely inspired by that movie. And see if you guys know where this part is from. Obviously not a, super true recreation, but this is the bar. And then of course, it's not open at the moment, but this is the gold room bar from the Shining movie, or at least inspired by that. And then of course, we also have Matt checking out the red rum door, and also where Jack wrote, "All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy," over and over and over and over. And his typewriter. So, I love it. Matt and I definitely did not know all of this was here. We just saw a cool theater and thought, oh, let's go photograph this cool theater sign. And turns out the entire theater is designed to look like the Shining movie, which is super cool. Just goes to show, you never know what you're gonna find until you go find it. We'll have to come back and ask the lady downstairs, who was very nice and told us a lot of stuff. We'll have to ask her when this bar is open so that maybe we can come get a drink here. So we did not know ahead of time that the theater was influenced by the movie The Shining. And it's interesting because it's not fully influenced by the movie. There's parts of the theater that are just your regular theater. They've been well maintained. They look super cool. They have like neon and stuff, but they're not really related to The Shining. And then there's parts like the bathroom or the bar upstairs that have a heavy influence from the movie The Shining. So it's interesting. I don't know if the theater like remodeled at some point to include those elements, or if it always had those elements. I would imagine there was a remodel at some point, because I think the theater's been around longer than the movie. I could be wrong about that. I've done zero research. One thing I will say that I was surprised with so much references to The Shining not to see is that iconic overlook carpet. There's a theater in Austin that is not an Austin specific theater, but it's the Alamo Drafthouse, and the South Lamar location utilizes the carpet from The Shining. I think a few other locations actually do as well. And in the South Lamar location, not only do they have the overlook carpet, but they also have a tricycle that is either a replica or whatever from the one that Danny rides in the movie, and you can sit on it. It's like a larger version so that adults can use it, and you can sit on it and have your picture taken. So I was kind of surprised that this theater didn't have something like that, like just one spot where there's like a shining carpet. or that tricycle, because they had so many references to the movie. So I don't know, maybe it's a work in progress, or maybe there's just a part of the theater that we didn't find that actually does have that carpet. But that was the one thing I was surprised not to see. That aside, was really blown away by how well they remade that bathroom, how they had the typewriter and the desk and everything. Really, really cool theater. I would definitely go see movies there if I lived in Minneapolis. All right, so it is Friday, which means that today at, I think, 4:35 p.m., it will have been officially a full week here in St. Paul/Minneapolis. And I have seen so much, probably hardly even scratched the surface of what this city has to offer. But it has been really enjoyable, the things I have seen, and it has definitely flown by. I have all of today, all of tomorrow, and then most of Sunday. So I still have a few good days left to go. Yesterday, the coolest thing I got to see was this zoo/plant conservatory. It was a really big building. I did not realize that there was a full zoo and also basically a theme park in the conservatory. I thought it was just for plants. And so I went into the plant section. They have like multiple different gardens, a Japanese Zen garden. They had like this flower pond thing, a lot of really cool stuff in there. Very hot because it's basically a giant greenhouse. And then I noticed, oh, there's also this zoo. There's also this theme park. Unfortunately, the theme park is not open yet. I guess the summer hours haven't started for that, but the zoo definitely was. All of this was free. So I guess they've built this massive place off of donations or off of funding of some kind, but really cool that it's free. They do accept donations. I was there kind of late by the time I realized there was a zoo, so I had to leave because they closed, but I got to see some lions, a bunch of different primates, giraffe, zebra. So I'm hoping to go back either today or tomorrow with my friend, and apparently there's like a polar bear and a bunch of other stuff in there, so I would love to see all of that. My favorite exhibit was the silverback gorillas, maybe, and just like the primates in general, maybe because they're the most human-like in my opinion. Like they'll look at you, they'll kind of like to some extent interact with you. But the gorillas were really entertaining because they were pissed, which was also scary. But I guess, I don't know when food time is for them, but they definitely felt like it was time for food to be brought. So they were like beating on the doors. They were getting pissed off and like running around, beating their chest. I didn't get a whole lot of it on video, but I did get a few shots on video and just took a few pictures as well. And the other thing I didn't know about gorillas is that they smell really bad. And they had a sign, a little plaque that was like, "What's that smell? It's the gorillas. They have large scent glands in their armpits that produces an odor that's used to potentially, I guess, like help identify, you know, who's who." But it definitely stank through the glass, through like even like a certain zone of the park. You could smell the gorillas. That was surprising to me, but very cool to get to see the gorillas and all the other animals. Like I said, I'm hoping to go back since it's free parking, free entry, and go check out some of the other animals that are there. And then we're gonna go over to the Capitol, which is really beautiful here. I mean, basically all capitals are, but it'll be interesting to see how their capital is versus the one that I have back home. A lot to do. I'm excited. I don't want this vacation to end, so I'm gonna make the best of the last few days that I've got. All right, so it is the last day here in St. Paul. It's been a fun 10 days, I think, that I've been here. Unfortunately, it's very rainy today. It's actively raining out this window as I speak, so I guess I will not be doing any big hikes or anything like that, but we'll find something fun to do indoors, I'm sure. But yeah, it's been a really fun trip. Yesterday was super fun because we went to some different record stores here in town, and there are so many record stores here between St. Paul and Minneapolis. But there was one particular record store that I was really into, and that record store was also a coffee shop. So we were headed there to peruse some records and maybe get a coffee or a tea, something like that. And when we got there, we started to look through the records, and then I noticed there's actually a photo lab in here. So that was the photo lab spot, and it was really cool to get to talk to Jordan about his experience running this photo lab, how it came to be, what his hopes and dreams are for it, and to get to learn a little bit about photo development as well. I would highly recommend, you know, checking it out if you're in this area. It's really, really cool because it is open, so you can see the action as it unfolds, whereas most photo labs are very much behind the scenes. This one is right out front. And Jordan also mentioned that he was thinking of holding some classes in the future, so if you're interested in just making some friends or even learning about, you know, film development, then I would definitely recommend checking it out. Basement Lab is the name of his lab. I'll put a link to his website in the description as well. But yeah, that was definitely the highlight of yesterday. I also just hung out with my friend Matt and watched some movies, ate some food. So it was a good time. We'll see what we get into today before my plane takes off. But otherwise, Minneapolis, St. Paul has been really fun to visit. It's not as big on the nightlife as Austin is. It seems like a lot of bars close at like 10 or 11. Whereas in Austin, they all close at 2 a.m. But I don't know if that's just the time of year that I'm here. Austin is also a bit of a party city, so that could also be the case too. But a lot of really fun stuff. I can't wait to go back and put this video together and just remember and revisit some of the shots that I took, some of the places that I visited. So that will be super fun. But Minneapolis, St. Paul is definitely rated well in my view, and I would be more than happy to come back and visit again.